Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call the Town Council regular session to order for April 15th, 2026. And we will begin, as always, with the Pledge of Allegiance. This evening, Councilor Lomatina, if you please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Lomatina, thank you. All right, next item is roll call, and all councilors are present and accounted for. We welcome councilors and welcome to our new councilor, Councilor McSherry. Lovely to see you. The next item on our agenda is the election of officers, the adoption of town council rules, and committee assignments. And so the first item is election of officers. The first officer up for election this evening is the office of the chair of the town council. At this time, I will open up the floor for nominations. I would like to begin. It is with great pleasure that I nominate Councilor Brian Ward to the office of chair. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilor Ward, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Are there other nominations for the position of council chair? Any discussion? Okay, so now if you could call the roll. Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Lomatina?
Aye.
Councilor Dornblue?
Aye.
Councilor McSherry? Aye. Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Can I vote?
Yep.
Yes. Aye.
Councilor Conley? Aye. Motion passes.
Yeah.
And with that,
Thank you very
I'll
much.
turn it over to you, sir. You want to switch chairs?
It's fine. We're close. I think I'm close enough. Yeah. I'll have to look at it. Okay. First of all, thank you very much. This is probably the most interesting tax day ever for me. But yeah, we will move on
For vice chair.
for vice chair. Okay, so do we have any nominations for the position of vice chair? Councillor Donley.
Yes, I would like to nominate Councilor Lomatina for vice chair.
Second. All right, there's a second. Councilor Lomatina, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Or any other nominations? Seeing none, may you please call the roll?
Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Lomatina?
Aye.
Councilor Dornblue?
Aye.
Councilor McSherry? Aye. Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Conley? Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
We will rearrange the seating for the next meeting.
Okay, next we have our committee assignments for
Council rules.
Council rules.
council rules.
Yeah.
Next we have our is there a motion to adopt the council rules for 2026-2027 as amended?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Just for discussion, as a council aware, I provided them with a red line version of new rules. Most of the changes were grammatical, changing things from chairman to chair, and just to fix some of the voting and connections with the right RSAs. One thing we did change was what happens if the chair and the vice chair are not here, but the chair wants to, or one of the officers want to participate remotely. And it will now add a provision to allow a councilor to step in as acting chair, even though the chair is in the room. Other than that, I know Councilor Matina and Councilor Dorwell just gave some changes. We did incorporate them in the new one. Nothing big. It was more just procedural. So that is what we have.
Yeah. As Councilor Lomatina, can we get a clean copy?
Yep, we'll get that as soon as. Yep.
Is there any discussion on the changes or amendments to the town council rules? Councilor Dornblue.
Just to say that I'm glad that we've changed the verbiage a little bit to make it a little bit cleaner and not gender specific. I think that's, it sounds a lot more readable and I think it cleans up some of the issues that I didn't even know were there. So it's good to it's good to be forced to read over it once in a while.
All right, seeing no, yes.
I just wanted to speak in favor of the changes. I thought the revisions that both Councilor Lamatine and Councilor Gopla offered were excellent. I appreciated the additional clarity to the language and the additional specificity sort of around roles and contingencies. So I'm in favor.
Seeing no other discussion, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Blaisberg.
Aye.
Councilor Lamatine.
Aye.
Councilor Dwumble.
Aye.
Councilor Chair. Aye. Councilor Blackstone.
Aye.
Councilor Ward.
Aye.
Councilor Conley. Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
All right, the next item on the town council is the committee assignments for 2026 to 27.
I would like to make a motion to finalize those at the next meeting, since we have a new counselor and new roles this evening.
Do I have a second to finalize these rules at the next meeting, since we have a new counselor?
You probably don't need to
Oh,
vote on it. We can just
Okay.
postpone it for the next meeting.
All right.
What we'll do is we'll distribute a list of all the committees, who's currently serving. Email and let us know if you wanna stay, if you wanna switch.
And folks have already sent that over, so what
Okay.
I'll do is I'll connect with you, Councilor Ward, and share that with you.
All right. Now that is passed. We will now open to public forum. This is the opportunity for all residents, property owners, and representatives of recognized civic organizations to address the council on items on tonight's agenda or matters pertaining to the business of the council. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes, and public forum will not exceed 15 minutes total. Please state your name and address for the record, and please direct all comments to the chair and council as a body, not individual members. Please note that the public forum is not a two-way dialogue, and the council will not be responding this evening. All right, is there anyone from the public wishing to speak?
Hi there, Tony Weinstein, 13 Lily Point Drive, and congratulations to the new chair and vice chair, and congratulations to Councilor Conley. So
That's what it's feels like.
So I'm here tonight to talk about two events that are coming up. And the first is the roadside cleanup, and the first roadside cleanup was held in 2014, and it's crazy. And since then we have picked up 503 bags of trash from alongside our roadways. And so this year it's going to be on Sunday, April 26th. There's a rain date of Sunday, May 3rd. And people can pick up their bags and their road assignments from 9 to 11 at the Newmarket Library. I'll be there with my little tent and my table. And it's super easy. There's no registration required. And like I said, we will have a rain date of May 3rd, but that's like true rain. So if it's a sprinkly, drizzly day, we'll still have the cleanup. But if it's like a storm, we'll have it on May 3rd. And then the second, and I didn't bring a flyer because I didn't have any colored ink. But there is a flyer hanging up in that Wendy posted for you in the hallway. It's been on Channel 8 and posted in the newsletter as well. And then the other item that I wanted to make sure that the council was aware, and anybody watching, is a proposed solid waste transfer facility that's in Epping. And there's a public hearing for that on April 28th at 5:30 at the Legion in Epping. And I know this is Newmarket, right? So why are we going to this potential public hearing in Epping? Because it's along the Piscassic River, which flows into our town. And the reason that there's even a second public hearing is because the first one wasn't properly noticed. So they didn't notice their abutters, basically, so other towns. So I'll be there, and I think it's a really important issue for Newmarket. I know that the Conservation Commission has responded with a letter already, and so did the Oh, sorry, 5:30.
Can you repeat the date again?
Yeah, it's April 28th. And there was an article on Seacoast Online that had some more information. There are 2 letters, like I said, one from Ellen Snyder for the Conservation Commission, and then the other one was from, and those are available in the minutes. I have copies if anybody, I have a copy if anybody wants them. The Lamprey River Advisory Committee also wrote a letter opposing the facility. And that's it. Thank you.
Right, fine. All right, is there anyone else from the public who wishes to speak tonight? All right, seeing no further speakers, public forum has now closed. We will now move on to town council to consider the acceptance of minutes. Is there a these are minutes from April 1st, 2026, no joke. Is there a motion to accept?
I'll make
the motion to accept.
I'll second.
Okay. Now, is there any discussion on the minutes? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Oh, sorry, please call the roll.
Did somebody second
That's something.
it? Oh, sorry. Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Lamatino?
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Councilor McSherry? Aye. Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Conley? Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. Next is for the town council to consider nominations, appointments, elections, and resignations. First on the list is Brianna Bernier, appointment to the Riverfront Advisory Committee with a term expiration in April 2029. Is there a motion?
Who made that motion?
And do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any comments on this nomination?
I did have a comment, I forgot to follow up on it. They say she's only been a resident for 3 months, so there's no residential term requirement for committees, so.
Not for non-statutory committees.
Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Lamatino?
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Councilor McSherry? Aye. Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Conley? Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Next, we have Laura Nolan, reappointment to the library trustees with a term expiration of April 2029. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And is there a second?
One second.
And is there any discussion? Oh, Councilor Conley?
I'll just say that I'm very pleased that Ms. Long is willing to continue serving as library trustee. I think she's a great addition to the board of trustees and it serves the town well.
Okay. All right. Seeing no other comments or discussion, would you please call the roll?
Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Lamatino?
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Councilor McSherry? Aye. Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Conley? Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. Next, we have Austin Johnson, resignation from the Public Transport Advisory Committee. Is there a motion for this?
I'll make that motion.
And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comment?
With regret.
Exception, yeah, with regret. Councilor Nornbluth.
Exactly. I'm sad to say that, or sad to see that Austin had to decide to leave the committee. Things change. Life takes turns, and he was a good voice on the committee, and he will be missed. Every voice on the committee is helpful and makes the work more fruitful. So we'll miss him, and I'm sure he'll be back when time comes.
With no further discussion, could we please call the roll?
Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Lamatino?
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Councilor McSherry? Aye. Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Conley? Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
All right, next we have Chris Blackstone, that sounds familiar. Reappointment to the Energy and Environment Advisory Committee with a term expiration in April 2029. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
And is there a second?
Second.
And is there any discussion or comment? Councilor Lamontina.
Yeah, so Chris has been on the committee for a short period of time, and she's been very good. Matter of fact, she got the town manager to actually approve some expenses.
And she.
I haven't been able to do that. I think she's a very valuable member. Can't say much for her choice spouse, but
Get two zings on that one, huh?
All right. Anyone else? Okay. Seeing no more discussion, could we please call the roll?
Council Blaisberg,
Aye.
Council Lamontina.
Aye.
Council Dornbluth.
Aye.
Council McSherry. Aye. Council Blackstone.
Abstain.
Council Ward.
Aye.
Council Conley. Aye. Motion passes 6-0-1.
Next, we have Kimberly Hamlin, appointment to the Public Transportation Advisory Committee with a term expiration in 2027. Is there a motion?
So,
And is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilor Dornbluth.
thank you. Just happy to see Ms. Hammond stepping up and volunteering for the committee. She came and offered some insights and comments at previous meetings, and it's nice to see that sometimes these things rope you in. So if you don't want to serve on a committee, don't come and speak. That's basically what the lesson learned is there. No, in all seriousness, we'll be very glad to have her on the committee. And I hope that you all agree.
Seeing no further discussion, could we please call the roll?
Council Blaisberg.
Aye.
Council Lamontina.
Aye.
Council Dornbluth.
Aye.
Council McSherry. Aye. Council Blackstone.
Aye.
Council Ward.
Aye.
Council Conley. Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
And now yet another friendly face. Chase Eagleson, appointment to the Public Transportation Advisory Committee with a term expiration in April 2027. Is there a motion?
So,
Councilor Dornbluth, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any comment or discussion? Councilor Conley.
I'm sure Councilor Dornbluth will feel the same, but could not be more delighted that former Councilor Eagleson is going to be stepping up and serving on the Public Transportation Committee. He's thoughtful and engaged, and Newmarket is better because he's part of it.
Councilor Dornbluth, did you raise your hand?
that was well said. I don't think I need to add to that.
Sorry, yeah, that didn't mean we don't stop. All right, seeing no other comment or discussion, could we please call the roll?
Councilor Blaisberg.
Aye.
Councilor Lamontina.
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth.
Aye.
Councilor McSherry. Aye. Councilor Blackstone.
Aye.
Councilor Ward.
Aye.
Councilor Conley. Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Next, we have Robert Daigle, reappointment to the Zoning Board of Adjustment with a term expiration of April 2029. Is there a motion? And for this individual?
I'll make the motion.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion or comment? Councilor Dornbluth?
I'll just say that it's impressive for someone to serve with such tenacity on a board, and I'm glad to see that Mr. Daigle is continuing his work on the zoning board of adjustment.
Seeing no further comment or discussion, could you please call the roll?
Councilor Blaisberg.
Aye.
Councilor Lamontina.
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth.
Aye.
Councilor McSherry. Aye. Councilor Blackstone.
Aye.
Councilor Ward.
Aye.
Councilor Conley. Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Now we move on to the report of the town manager, and I will now invite the town manager to deliver the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's the first time I've said Mr. Chair in a long time. I've been manager for a long time.
If you mix it up in
Thank you. In my written report tonight, first I wanted to go over two internal policies that I put in place. First, I want the town council to know that under ordinance section 1-43 of the Newmarket Town Code, in the administrative authority granted by the town charter, first, I've implemented a new policy adopted for the artistic message board use, effective April 1st, which establishes clear and consistent framework for use, approval, and management of these public communication tools. These are the new signs that are, one's already in the Arbor Park, and we're going to have two others. 2 others or 3 others? Good.
3 others planned.
Okay, going out. We just want to make sure that we had some rules that we could follow in putting things up there. First, prioritizes official town messaging, particularly public safety, legal notices, and civic communications first, and while assigning coordination responsibilities to the rec director to ensure efficient scheduling. And it also reinforces the content standards to ensure accuracy, professionalism, and appropriateness, while preserving the role of the Arts and Tourism Commission to display approved artwork during periods where there's no active town messaging schedule. So basically, if there's no messages, there'll be art. If there's messages, we have to comply with certain items. The next item is that the policy was a use of artificial intelligence in the workplace policy, which is effective April 10th, establishing clear expectations on how AI tools may be responsibly integrated in municipal operations. Policy centralized oversight within my office with coordination with the IT department, ensuring that all AI tools are evaluated, approved, and used in a secure and appropriate manner. The policy emphasizes that while AI can enhance efficiency in tasks such as drafting, research, and data analysis, all final work products remain the responsibility of town staff with required human review for accuracy, tone, and compliance. As somebody told me, it's a quiet, unpaid, you don't have to feed intern, that you still have to look at the documents before it goes out. It also sets guardrails around data privacy, prohibiting the use of sensitive or confidential information in unapproved systems, and establishes a clear roles for employees, department heads, and IT in implementation and oversight. I think everybody's seeing all their software, we're getting AI in everything, so we just want to have something in writing that make sure we do that. I did send out after my report went out, because the time frame for our meetings, the financials for March. Just a quick glance. We're 75% through the year, and we're doing quite well. We've collected 97.7% of all revenues. Reason for that is, as you know, we do our first tax collection in June, second one in the fall, so that's where most of our revenues come from. Nothing's out of the ordinary right now. They're on the revenue side. General fund, we're doing well there. We're doing okay as well at 72% expended. As nothing out of the ordinary again, as council knows, we anticipated the fire and rescue part-time salaries to be over due to the per diem program, and that is offset by savings in the full-time salaries. And the other is we did have overages due to the winter storms activities in January, February, March. And we got a lot more ice and wet stuff than we did snow, which we would rather have snow than that. And that is all I have there. The next item is my annual presentation of the council orientation. I don't know what that thing is.
It's there for spite.
Yes, to get me moving. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. This is just my annual spiel, and good way to remind current counselors and explain to the new counselors some council orientation items. First thing I just want to go over is, what are the 4 basic types of local government in New Hampshire? New Hampshire is not what they refer to as a home rule state. We're what they call a Dillon rule state, that we're only allowed to pass laws that the legislature allows us to. Maine, on the other hand, is a home rule state, which is the opposite. They can pass any laws unless the legislature says no. So we only get our authority through Concord. But the 4 types of local government in New Hampshire are first, where the strong mayor and board of aldermen. The people elect the CEO to run the city, which is titled the mayor. People elect a representative body to set policy for the city, which is the board of aldermen. And there's only 2 in cities in New Hampshire with this, and that is Manchester and Nashua. The next is what we refer to as the council manager form of government. Voters elect a legislative body for the city or town, and it's called the city or town council. The head of the council serves as the figurehead and chair of the council. It's either called a mayor, which they do in Portsmouth, Dover, those cities around here, or a council chair. Council has to hire a professional CEO to run the community, which is either a city or town manager. There are 11 cities and 8 towns in the state that have this form of government. They're the cities of around us, Portsmouth, Dover, Rochester, Somersworth, and the towns of Durham and Newmarket. The next is what you'll hear a lot of. One is the select board SB2 form of government. Voters elect a select board to serve as the governing body. They may or may not appoint a town manager or administrator to be the chief executive officer. Town meeting serves as a legislative body, and as a deliberative session, people meet to debate and amend the articles. People then vote on town meeting days, approve the articles. There are 68 towns in the state. Around here are Exeter, Hampton, Rye, and Barrington. And then there's the select board traditional town meeting. Again, the voters elect the select board to serve as the governing body. They may appoint a town manager or not. The town meeting serves as the legislative body. They meet annually to approve the articles in the annual budget at a meeting. It's the typical Norman Rockwell standing up town hall town meeting. And most towns in the state have this form. Around here is Stratham and Newington. So the role of the town council is that the town council serves as the legislative and governing body of the town. In corporate world, the residents are the voters, are the shareholders, the town council is the board of directors, and the town manager is the chief executive officer. The town council is not a select board. The main distinctions are town council, as in not the same as select boards. They possess some of the powers held by select boards, but some of those authority goes to the town office of the town manager. The town charter, which is our constitution, outlines how our government is operated, whereas traditional towns, it's all by state law. The council has all the powers of the city councils except for budget adoption. So the council exercises both the powers of cities, councils, and aldermen, and any action available to the city can also be taken by the town council. Except for a few cases, only budget and borrowing are presented for a vote at our town meetings, a deliberative session, and other than that, the council approves all other matters. You'll hear people say, well, I'm going to petition to put this on the ballot. We don't have that form of government. The council approves all ordinances and all policies in that situation. Its government structure, we resemble closer to Dover and Portsmouth than we do to Exeter and Hampton. So I always like to say that because you're going to see things in the news like, well, Exeter did this, and it's confusing because it says the town of Exeter, but it's not the same form of government that we have. So just the role of the town council and the town manager. Just the town council sets policies and does not handle daily operations. It appoints a town manager, who's again serves as chief executive officer, and this is under statute under RSA 49D:2. The town manager holds authority under charter and state law, appoints all department heads with council approval, manages and disciplines employees up to termination alone. The council gets no involvement in discipline or termination of employees. It prepares and submits the budget in the CIP to the town council. The full authority is detailed in the charter and it's listed out. And the key distinction is the council makes policy and the manager and staff implement policy. This is just the organizational chart. Just the council has to act as a body. No one councillor has more or less authority than anybody else. No one councillor can influence the acts of the town manager or employees. They cannot direct the appointment or termination of an employee or interfere with the duties of an employee. That's saying that, hey, why isn't my road paved this year? Hey, why didn't my road get plowed this time? Why my road hasn't been plowed yet? Can't do that. You can't get involved in the day-to-day operations. And councilors must deal with employees through the town manager. And I can tell you it goes the other way. All the department heads, I know every day when Councilor McSherry now is meeting with the department heads, because the first person they call when a councilor calls is me. So I know what's going on, because one of the things we don't like to do is having one council without one more information than somebody else. So if one councilor asks it, we provide the entire council with information. And this is the one big one. This is actually a violation of getting involved in the day-to-day is a violation. It could be forfeiture of office. You could be removed from office for getting involved that way. As I said, the town council must adopt all the laws of the town. The town council has budgetary control, so the municipal budget committee and the town meeting only approve bottom line of the budget. The rest of the year, it's the town council that approves with their policies any changes in the budget, changes, moving money from one department to the other. The town manager's financial responsibility. The town manager must approve any manifests for payment. I sign manifests twice a week with what we pay all the bills on the employees. I set the pay for the employees. We establish a purchasing code, and the town manager appoints the town treasurer. Just things you can just remember. Realize you're on a team. You represent the entire community at all times. You're doing this for public service, not to benefit personally, politically, professionally. And one of the things I would remind is you can't turn off being a counselor. You're a counselor 24/7 once you become in public office. And I've been at other towns that they say, somebody goes, well, I'm not speaking as a town councilor or a selectman or whatever. You can't, first thing, when you say that, yes, you are. Second of all, you're always in office until you get out of office. So just remember that. Just some of the relations with each other, set long-term and short-term goals together. I've been trying to get in touch with Primex to have our annual goal-setting session. Debate hard issues, but keep it civil. When the gavel bangs, it doesn't mean you have to hate each other if you don't agree with everything. Just try to respect colleagues and staff, even when you disagree. Decide only after hearing all the facts and avoid snap judgments. And remember, the council acts as one and no member has sole authority. The role of the council chair is that they are the first among equals. They have no more authority than any other councilors. They run meetings and assist the council in reaching decisions and moving discussions forward. They act as the liaison between the council and the town manager and helps resolve any conflicts between the two, and is also the ceremonial head of the town government. Just for relationship with town staff, don't micromanage. Let everybody do their job. Let the town manager and department heads run the day-to-day operations. Recognize and support the administrative chain of command. Do not undermine the staff. If there's an issue, tell the town manager and we'll solve it. Recognize staff as a difficult time trying to satisfy a diverse council. I always say, department heads are lucky they have one boss, and that's me. I'm the one who has 7 bosses. So that's the way we should operate. And again, I work for the council, not a councilor, and I have to adjust to the council as a whole. So if there's a big change in the council, I change with the council. It's not this part of the office. And try to get answers from me prior to a meeting. We don't like to play gotcha at a meeting. Like, oh, well, I need this information at a meeting, and the department head's like, what? Oh, we don't have it. So it's pretty good. If you get your packets on Friday, just send an email if you have questions, and we can try to get you that information. The council roles with staff is inquiry or queries only. All business flows through the manager. Call the manager for questions, complaints, and concerns. Department heads, as I said, may answer, but always keeps the manager in the loop. Work with the town attorney only through the manager or the full council. Usually, if it goes to the full council and not through me, it's because I'm the problem, which never had happened, knock on wood, but that's what happens. Avoid mixed messages. Speak with one's voice to the staff. I've been in times where, you'll have one council not agree with the rest of the council, and they'll try to influence department heads not to do something. That doesn't work that way. It's whatever the majority of the council wants. And again, council sets direction, the manager leads the staff. Just some of the other rules. Council meets on the first and third Wednesdays each month. The agenda closes Wednesday before at noon. There are no late items unless it's emergency. That is a hard rule that I think we only waive it once in a blue moon. Council should not take up items staff hasn't had time to review. So if somebody comes to the podium and says, well, I have all this issue, just say, please meet with the town manager or the right department head, and we'll get that information to report back to you. We'd rather you guys have the right information by just being able to research than something on the spot. Meeting packets are released the Friday before. Bottom line, deadlines keep meetings fair, organized, and efficient. Just so town council votes on 3 main items: ordinances, which are the laws of the town; resolutions, which are policies or positions adopted by the town council; and appointments to boards and committees. That's it. Ordinances and resolutions process is the first reading, placed on the agenda, no discussion. The chair just reads it into the record, and it gives time for the council for another 2 weeks to do research and look at everything. It may be referred to a workshop or scheduled for a public hearing. Usually we do not. Ordinances do have to require a public hearing. Then the second one is the second hearing. After a public hearing, if needed, the council may either you vote, pass it, reject it, refer to a workshop, or move to a third reading. That rarely happens. We're actually going to have one probably coming up soon. But that's the way. That's how we vote on items. And reconsideration, we don't allow that by motion. You can't make a motion to reconsider. You have to submit a new ordinance or resolution to rescind something. Non-public sessions are traditionally held before and are conducted under RSA 91A. Comments by visitors open to residents, property owners, and representatives of recognized civic groups and businesses in Newmarket. Others may speak only if the rules are suspended. To suspend the rules, it takes a 2/3 vote of the council. Speakers address the council as a whole, not as individuals. It's not a dialogue back and forth with the council. So it's a time and sometimes it's frustrating because somebody may be sitting there and they'll talk and you just sit there and stare at them. It's not a back and forth. Each speaker gets 1 3-minute slot. We just amended the rule that the chair can extend it by 1 minute under their purview. The chair runs the meeting. Council should only speak when called on by the chair. Here's my underline one, capitalized. Raise your hands. Everybody.
Don't look at me.
Joe was just happy, was looking at it. Everyone needs to raise their hand. And it's very difficult for the person sitting in this chair to control the meeting. It's also very difficult for that individual over there taking the minutes to record the minutes if everybody just talks without getting recognized first. That's why we do it. And council should only discuss the topic at hand. If you want to bring up something new, comments by councilors is the time at the end. And then we will bring it up for a future agenda or work on something or something. No, we already went over this. No interruptions, speak out of order, comments goes through the chair. The chair may rule anyone, including councilors, out of order. If you're out of order 3 times in a meeting, you could be removed from the meeting. I've never seen that happen, but that's the council's rules. No direct questioning, interrogating audience members. Avoid first names. It actually breaks formality and looks unprofessional. It also is, you're not here, if there's a heated debate, you're not having a debate against Brian or Justin. You're having a debate against the office, the person in the office, so it's not personal. Only accept an appointment to something if you can attend nearly all the meetings. Represent the town well, dress appropriately, be on time, be polite, and do your homework before the meetings. Don't try to be a hero. Not every problem could or should be solved. Visitors' comments equal statements, not Q&A. No post-mortems. Once the vote's taken, it's final. Don't come back later in the meeting saying, no, I want to talk about that again. It's done. The vote's done. Respect staff recommendations. They're here to support good decisions. You may not agree, and it's okay to vote no, but the staff spends a lot of time doing the research and coming forward with policies and recommendations to recommend to the council. Like I said, you don't have to vote yes. We're not saying that. We're just saying respect their professionalism. Just your commitment makes a difference. Your efforts influence the direction of our community's future. Collaborate, communicate, and lead with honesty. Keep in mind that council functions as a unified body. Our success relies on cooperation and mutual respect, and remain knowledgeable, involved, and consistently uphold Newmarket's values. That is next.
Right. All right, next on our agenda is
Parking questions.
Oh, sorry, any questions for the town manager? Councilor Blackstone?
Okay, I have a couple of questions on the reports of the town department.
Okay, oh, then we move on to that then?
I thought you just did, I'm sorry.
You can do either or. It's fine.
Okay, we're now talking about department reports, you may ask your questions.
So first thing is, I just wanted to say that I was thrilled that the police department finally bought a hybrid. I mean, we've been pushing that for like years, right? And I don't know if there was a special deal on that or what, but I was thrilled to see that. The second thing is, in Lindsay's report, she said that the consultants had done their analysis on Moonlight Brook and they had next steps proposed. And that's all it said. And I wanted to make sure that we were actually then going to follow up on the next steps proposed. Yeah, well, it wasn't, the way it was written, I wasn't sure that we were going to do that. And then finally, I have had a number of personal tours of the waste management facility by Sam Hoffman, and I was always very impressed by his knowledge of the facility and his demeanor, and I just wanted to, on behalf of the town council, tell the family that, we really appreciate the work they did for the town, and that, we're sorry that they got it.
Any other discussions on department reports? Councilor Martina?
Yeah, I was gonna also say, thank the police department for getting a hybrid vehicle. It's long overdue. And I did wanna mention that there's a nice little write-up in there about Sam Heffron, town employee who unexpectedly passed away. My condolences to his family. So
Somewhat on that note, I believe was New Hampshire Clean Water Week in March or this month? I just looked on the website, but it would be a tour of the wastewater facility.
That's this week.
Okay, so that's this week. So people out there, if you're interested, it's a very good tour, and whatever you might be, it's much cleaner than you think it is. But it's a very important facility. We use or rely on it for all the water in town, keeping it clean, and it's really a good time and really good to go there, see the work that goes into keeping our water clean, keeping our rivers clean, and like meeting some of the people who are responsible for the fact that, there are plenty of places around the world where clean water is a luxury, and we are very lucky that when we turn on the tap, we know we're going to get clean water, it's going to be safe, and if you can get a chance, there are tours open for the rest of the week, and it's just down by what's the address of it?
Young Lane.
Young Lane. Okay.
8.
Okay.
Yeah, which is right up New.
Go down Young Lane and look for the base building that has a bunch of tanks and stuff. Okay. Now, was there anything else regarding department reports? Seeing none, we will now move on to committee reports. Does anyone have any committee reports to give this evening? Councilor Dornbull.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I almost said that.
Yeah.
I wonder what this is going to be like the year. It takes you a while. So the transportation committee met. I guess it was last week. There's been a lot going on in my life, so I may be wrong, and maybe in the week before that. We had a presentation that we were fortunate to have Lieutenant O'Brien organize two vendors for to implement paid parking in the town, present one for the front and one for the back end. It was, we had lots of questions. There are still, it raised more questions than we had before, and we got plenty of information to move us to the next stage, which is to have conversations with surrounding towns on their experience, rollout issues, concerns, benefits, goals and objectives, and such. And the long story, to cut it short, is that we're working hard to develop as comprehensive a report outlining possible benefits, a good analysis of the financial impact to the town in order to get started, and whether or not we would recommend to the council to move forward with implementing parking management here in town, which can have multiple aspects. There's not just the metered spots on the street, but it's also implementing modernizing the permit system that we have for public lots. So when you purchase a monthly permit or an overnight permit, that process is easier, and the location of the lots is more easily found and obtained by those seeking a permit. And there might be a slight adjustment to the permit rates to reflect increased costs and make sure that we are kind of in line with the way other towns are handling these kinds of resources. In addition, we're seeing the benefit of aligning that effort around parking with the wayfinding and signage RFP that was issued. Great opportunity to work in parallel and have a kind of a branding and wayfinding strategy for the town to identify where lots are, of course, and the town has received several responses, and they're currently being reviewed, and we're hopeful that the two efforts will align on a timely basis, so that we can move that forward. Whether we go forward with a parking management approach or not, we will certainly have better signs. I can say that it is the feeling of the committee at this point that at the very least we should modernize the way we issue permits, just to take some of the burden off the shoulders of the police department, and to better utilize the resources that we already have. Some of the lots are simply not known, or the fact that there's parking right out here that you can utilize. So that the objective really is for us to or the objective that we are proposing the council consider is to focus on a more effective and efficient utilization of existing resources, so that we can avoid the costly expense of expanding parking, which is obviously a much greater investment than trying to manage better what we have. So that's the report from the Transportation Committee.
Any other reports? Okay. I have two. The Conservation Commission met on the 9th and elected its newest officers. Zach Angelini was made chair, Luke Fromm was made vice chair, Ellen Snyder made treasurer, and George Anderson made the rep to Energy and Environment, Jess Can made representative to Riverfront, and Luke Fromm was also made representative to the Planning Tech Board Review. Let's see. We had a public hearing about 16,000 with the acquisition of conservation easement on the Rosa property that closed without comment, and was approved. Turtle Fest planning is in full swing, and t-shirts and bandanas are now for sale at the library and at the town clerk's office here in this building. So come in and get yourself. It was made, get one, designed, made by town local John Herman. So now becoming a collector's item. So Zach Angelini is working on something called Big Nights Amphibian Crossing. So when the weather is right, lots of little, frogs, salamanders, there's turtles and other animals will cross during the night. Unfortunately, get run over. So when in certain conditions, which is raining, when the ground has thawed and temperatures above 45 degrees at night, they will go out and help these animals get across, wave like flashlights. It's like, hey, please don't run over this turtle. Which may sound a little, but we do have a few species of endangered animals here. Conservation is very important, and anything we can do to keep local wildlife, thriving is very important. So if there's anyone that has interest in that, please reach out to Zach Angelini, the chair of the Conservation Commission. And again, they can't really predict when, but it'll be nighttime, raining, above 45 degrees, and the ground is thawed from like 8 to 9 p.m. Going on. And also, the Rain Barrel Community Program will start on June 6th with sales. Newmarket is partnering with the Great American Rain Barrel Company for $89 per barrel. And yeah, so if you want interested in getting some rain barrels and what that's looking for, this would be an excellent time to buy one or research into it. And let's see. And my second committee, I have so many. The 300 committee met on the 8th. It is official that the parade for 300 will be on October 17th, 2027, so not this year, following October. We also had a presentation by Councilman McShare about the bulletin board, which maybe she will bring up during her comment, during council comments at the end.
Bus.
Otherwise, things have been going very well. 100 commemorative trees, or a tree that it will honor the 300th anniversary of town. So, and those are my committee reports, and I've all said now to you, Chair. All right, but if there are no other committee reports, we will move on to old business, and I thank our attendees for being so patient. Resolutions and ordinances in the second reading. The next item is Resolution 2025-2026-37 concerning Newmarket Public Library roof repairs. This matter is on its second reading. Is there a motion to adopt?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And
The library director is here to explain the project and answer any questions, so.
Sure.
You can come up to the mic if.
Thank you all. In short, we had a study done by a roofing contractor who had worked on the building previously, is capable with slate and the historic essence of the building. And they have reported two issues with roofing in the valleys where it's a rubberized surface actually. But prior to those repairs, they also identified some chimney needs with masonry, and that's where there's a little bit of an open-ended issue. But we have a quote that covers the extent of everything that's enumerated in the report or the resolution. For the high end, hopefully we won't need to rebuild as much, or the liners won't need to be replaced as extensively as potential. But the mason, again, a historic building capable entity, will expand on the need as he discovers anything that is unknown until the actual demolition and exploration of the situation. But I think the resolution states the extent of the, even if we're at the worst of the situations, hopefully we won't be, but the numbers are there, and the entirety is covered by the balance of the CIP as it stands. So I think it's just capturing this particular instance in a second resolution regarding the CIP monies.
Any questions or comments? I will say, as a frequent visitor to the library, I'm glad we are trying to keep the books dry. Yes, this sounds like it sounds like something that needs to get done, and there's no real point in delaying it, so, okay. Seeing no other comments or questions, could we please call the roll?
Council Glazeberg?
Aye.
Council Amatino?
Aye.
Council Dornbluth?
Aye.
Council McSharon? Aye. Council Blackstone?
Aye.
Council Ward?
Aye.
Council Conlon?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want me to read the resolutions? So you don't have to read them on your phone.
Yeah, my personal laptop's a little fritzy right now.
That's okay.
Okay, so moving on to ordinances and resolutions in the first reading, which will be read off by the town manager.
First resolution is resolution number 2025-26-39, a resolution renaming Beach Street Extension as Cheswell Street. Whereas Mark Cheswell, a lifelong resident of Newmarket, and one of the town's most accomplished early citizens, serving his community for nearly half a century, demonstrating a deep commitment to education, a respect for history, civic engagement, and public service, as a leader of the town of Newmarket throughout the American Republic. And whereas Cheswell preserved the early history of the town by transcribing Newmarket's records, including its incorporation, ensuring that future generations would have access to the community's historical record and act as said record when the original documents were destroyed by a fire. And whereas Cheswell demonstrated early interest in preserving and understanding the region's deeper past, recording observations of indigenous artifacts and sites in the Newmarket area and beyond, reflecting one of the earliest efforts statewide to become a field of archaeology. Whereas Cheswell also worked to establish one of Newmarket's earliest lending libraries, making books available for enrichment, and laid a foundation for what would eventually lead to the Newmarket Public Library. Whereas Cheswell was deeply committed to education, having served Newmarket as a teacher, building its first schoolhouse, helping guide the development of Newmarket's public education system as one of the inaugural school board members, ensuring that future generations would benefit from learning and civic knowledge. And whereas in the months leading up to the American Revolution, Cheswell served the patriot cause as a trusted messenger rider carrying an urgent intelligence from Newmarket to Exeter, built rafts to defend Portsmouth Harbor, helping contribute to the earliest acts of resistance against British authority. And whereas Margaret Cheswell answered the call to military service to the American Revolution, serving in General John Stark's brigade, and hand-picked member of John Langdon's company of the Light Horse Volunteers, taking part in the Saratoga campaign in 1777, where the American victory marked a turning point in the war and helped secure international support for the cause of independence. And whereas the nation approaches the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, communities across the country are seeking meaningful ways to recognize individuals and local events and contribute to the founding of the nation. Whereas the story of the Cheswell family, a path that led from enslavement and freedom of his grandfather Richard, likely the first person of African descent to own land in New Hampshire, to hard work and community leadership of his father Hope Still Cheswell, a house right who contributed to the framing homes of nearby Portsmouth that stand today, including John Paul Jones' home and the Stubby Tavern at Strawberry Bank. To Margaret Cheswell's own service together reflects the ideals of perseverance, civic responsibility, and opportunity to help shape Newmarket in the United States. And whereas naming Public Street in honor of Margaret Cheswell and his family provides an opportunity to educate residents, students, and visitors about Newmarket's role in the Revolutionary era, the lasting contributions of one of its most dedicated citizens. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the town of Newmarket hereby renames Beach Street Extension as Cheswell Street in honor of Wentworth Cheswell and his family in recognition of the aforementioned contributions and enduring legacy in the town of Newmarket. First reading April 15, 2026. Sponsored by Councilor Dornbluth.
I think I know who helped you write that.
I did not write that.
The next resolution. Yeah. Resolution number 252640, adoption of municipal debt policy. Whereas the town of Newmarket is authorized to incur debt in accordance with the provisions of RC Chapter 33 and other applicable laws governing municipal finance, and whereas the prudent management of municipal debt is essential to maintain the town's long-term financial stability, protecting creditworthiness, and ensuring responsibility use of taxpayers' resources, and whereas the town council desires to establish a comprehensive and consistent framework governing the issuance, management, and repayment of municipal debt obligations, and whereas the municipal debt policy provides clear guidance and authorized purposes, statutory limitations, debt instruments, procedures, and ongoing monitoring and reporting requirements, and whereas The policy aligns with applicable provisions of RSA chapters 32, 35, 35A in the town charter, and whereas the town council finds the adoption of this policy will promote transparency, fiscal discipline, and coordination with the town's capital improvement planning process. Now therefore be it resolved by the town council of the town of Newmarket, New Hampshire, that the adoption of the policy, the town council adopts municipal debt policy adhered to and incorporated herein by reference. And this policy shall apply to all forms of debt issued on or by or on behalf of the town, including but not limited to bonds, notes, lease purchase agreements, and short-term borrowing instruments. The town manager and director of finance administration are hereby authorized and directed to implement and administer this policy in accordance with applicable state laws and town charter provisions. Consistency with the law, nothing in this policy shall supersede or conflict with applicable provisions in New Hampshire law, and in the event that any conflict, state law shall control, and this resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption. Sponsored by Chair Conley, by request, because of timing. First read April 15th, 2026. And finally, Resolution 252641, MS4 General Permit Compliance Assistance. Whereas in accordance with the New Hampshire MS4 General Permit, the town of Newmarket is required to perform activities and implement plans to protect water quality and natural resources. And whereas town staff would like to partner with Geosyntec Consultants Inc. to perform a catchment investigation, system mapping, and weather outfall inspection screening at MS4 outfall in accordance with the town's illicit discharge detection and elimination plan. Now that will therefore be it resolved by the Newmarket Town Council that the town of Newmarket, the town council authorizes the MS4 general permit compliance assistance and further authorize the town manager to execute any documents necessary to complete the project. In addition, the town council authorizes the expenditures up to $46,700 from stormwater management capital reserve fund, sponsored by Chair Conley by request. First reading April 15, 2026.
All right. Thank you, and thank you, Manager. Right. Moving on is new business and correspondence. Is there any correspondence needs to be brought before the town council?
There is none.
Okay. And now is closing comment by town councilors. This is the time where if there's anything that was not on the agenda or something you want to bring up, this is your chance to bring it up. Councilor Blackstock.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, not to be outdone by Councilors Glasberg and Lamartina, I painted a tile with the Newmarket Historical Society. And mine is equally terrible.
Wow.
Yep, Councilor Conley.
Thank you. I just wanted to take a second to amplify the announcements that Representative Weinstein made earlier and encourage folks to please come out on April 26th, at Sunday, between 9 and 11 at the library to pick up some trash bags and directions and help us clean up Newmarket. And please consider attending the public hearing on 428 at the Legion in Epping at 5:30.
That's Councilor Lamartina.
Reminder, Turtle Fest, May 9th, 9 o'clock, Junior Senior High School.
Councilor Dornblum.
Thank you. I just wanted to pick up on your comment on the rain barrel program. The ordering is open now, so you can go to the website, greatamericanrainbarrel.com/community, and order a barrel. Costs about $90. There's a $10 discount available for the first barrel that you order, but there's no limit on barrels that you can order. So if your house is rather large and there's a lot of runoff off your roof, you can capture it with more than one barrel. Always a good thing. And it really does help if you have a garden or need to do some watering during dry spells to have a rain barrel available. I also wanted to mention or pose this question, I guess, to the town manager, but we have two fairly prominent bridges as you enter town. The Veterans Bridge and the bridge leading over the Piscassic. I would really love to see some planters on those bridges with blooming plants to beautify the town, beautify the entrance to the town, especially in light of the the historic events that we're about to commemorate. So I'm hoping that we can make that happen.
Me too.
Is that a board meeting?
We'll figure it out, yeah.
Quickly, I will just say one thing about the rain bales. They do have covers to prevent mosquitoes growing.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things I thought. But yes, if you get one, they will have covers so you don't get mosquitoes. Councilor police one.
In honor of the Turtle Fest, you would want to pay attention to the statue that's on top of the current artistic messaging board, as it will be changing to a little shell creature temporarily until the other art triangles are in place.
Anyone else? Alright. I will now try to pitch after Turtle Fest. The weekend after Turtle Fest, there will be the second annual Newmarket Cemetery Restoration Day at Burley Cemetery. Basically, we just go in, and this is on near 10 Ball Hill Road. Cemetery has not been and cleaned up for a while, so there's lots of leaves, invasive plants or saplings, branches growing in. So, and it's going to be on May 17th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Burley Cemetery on, and while you're just at the day, at Burley Cemetery, which is on 10 Bald Hill Road. And then that evening, at from 6 to 8:30, there will be a presentation about the history of the cemetery and of Newmarket held at the Polish American Club. So if you can't attend one, please attend the other. If you can attend both, that would be great. We're going to see if we can get some pizza at that time, so that'll be nice. But yeah, cleaning up. Yep, we will be going in, raking up the leaves, trimming up brush. We had a blast last year, and we managed to clean up the entire first cemetery well within the time. So, and the only person who was injured was me because I tried to jump off a walk crawl. I tried to jump down. It was like, oh, that's like a foot, but the ground was a lot softer, and my ankle rolled a little bit. So, just don't jump off walls, and we will be
Stay away from Brian.
Yes. Anyways, that's the last from me. Now, is there anyone else who has anything else to bring up before we adjourn? Oh, go right ahead.
I wanted to say how grateful I am and honored to be on the council and to extend the work that I do with around communities. I did want to mention that the bulletin board is soft launched, so I wasn't going to mention it, but all the events that you talked about, if you weren't sure where to go, if you like to try to find it in the newsletter from the town, etc., it's all on the bulletin board. But it will be hard launch May 1st.
All right, our next regular council meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 6th, 2026 at 7 p.m. here. If there is no objections, I will consider us all adjourned. Thank you, everyone.